Brothers, I think it's rather appropriate that we celebrate this solemnity of St. Joseph during this particular time in our world, where it is a time of confusion, a time of fear, and a time of the unknown. As reading the gospel today, there are two phrases that struck me. First, he decided to divorce her quietly. And secondly, he took his wife into his home. Joseph must have been a quiet man. Most likely he did his carpentry work alone. We hear no words from him in the Gospels. The Gospels are quiet about him, perhaps because Joseph didn't make any waves. Joseph, we would say, was a quiet carpenter. When finding out about Mary's pregnancy, all we hear is that he decided to divorce her quietly. No fanfare, no gossip, no anger that we know of. Confusion was eliminated because he quietly and prayerfully listened to the Lord in and through an angel. Joseph trusted and surrendered to the voice of God. His confusion, his misunderstanding were eased and gone by his quiet time of listening. The unknown was made known through prayer and a sense of serenity. We can also assume that he quietly provided for Mary in Bethlehem the unknown of where she would go to give birth, the fear in the flight into Egypt, the fear and the unknown of finding him in the temple. Again, if he mishandled all these situations, don't you think we would have heard about it? But we surmise he handled all of this quietly and with courage. The second phrase that struck me, he took her into his home. A home is different than a house. We all like to go home. We like to go home, especially for times of rest, family, love, and security. We all like to return home after being away, perhaps at class or at ministry. Joseph did the same at Nazareth. He provided for his family a home, and he protected them. I'm reminded today of my novice master, Brendan Malloy. Bob would know Brendan very well, working with him. When Brendan was provincial, for me, he was always calm, quiet, and serene. He never jumped to conclusions. He never acted impulsively. When you made a request, there was never an immediate answer, but always time for him to ponder, to discern, and quietly and serenely come to an understanding and an answer for you. Brendan served quietly and prayerfully in the 70s when there was a lot of confusion, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of fear and the unknown and turmoil. I can still hear Brendan say, "Don't panic." Brothers, these are days of turmoil and anxiety, and rightly so, because we see what's happening. But perhaps we need to fast. We need to stop these days of Lent. Maybe we need to fast from the media, who often throw us into fear of the unknown and confusion with all the opinions that we see and we hear. We acknowledge the possibilities, but we should not fall into needless anxiety. God will take care of us if we do what we're supposed to do. We hear fear is useless. What is needed is faith. What is needed is trust. May Joseph be a model and inspiration for us these days, for we need to quietly listen, pray for understanding, pray for less confusion and fears of the unknown. Also today, we remember Joseph as he welcomed his wife into his home. Brothers, this is our home. I often think that we should use the title St. Francis Friary and not Capuchin College. Friary for me denotes home. College denotes academics, place to pass through after the novitiate. As Joseph made a home for Jesus, we need to make a home at this time for each one of us who reflect the face of Jesus. Since we are rather confined now, let's do what the authorities have asked us to do. But like Joseph, brothers, let's quietly and prayerfully foster a sense of family where we can feel comfort, peacefulness, and security from all that is being thrust at us at this time.